We're back. It's time to talk some touchdowns. Here we are live on Talking Touchdowns. We just finished the NBA rundown with JC Zargo. So if you want some winners, make sure you check that out here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel to make sure you're notified when we go live. Hit that subscribe button. And, of course, as always, hit that thumbs up. Title, how are you doing? Did you hit the thumbs up on your Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas, Title?
Had an amazing Christmas spread. All the way around. It was, 23rd, I was at my grandparents', 24th, went to my girlfriend's grandparents' on Christmas. Grandparents came over, watched some sports, and it was profitable. It was been a very good week. There's no complaints. Very blessed, very happy, and excited to talk some football with you guys. Hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas as well.
Tyler, I already heard that, you had a great holiday, but, we were talking NBA earlier. What did you think of how the NFL weekend went with the big slate on Saturday and then doing it all over again on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining to watch. A lot of my bets were the color of my hoodie, so that wasn't good. But other than that, I mean, it's entertaining. Holiday weekend. That's about it.
Yeah, I
ain't got much.
I was telling you before the show, it's weird, having a majority of these games not be completely fresh on my mind, because I was in NBA mode yesterday for sure. I mean, I had the games on, but to be honest, those weren't the best matchups, except for Title's morning game. I'll give him credit there. That was two good teams. But let's go in, and we're going to do what we always do, and that's, of course, a full slate review, and then we will break down and we give you some winners for Monday Night Football. The first game we'll start with was the Ravens beating the Falcons. I didn't really have much to say on this one. Tyler Huntley bounced back. Gus Edwards had 99 yards. No one really broke the slate here. Drake London finally had a good game now that my fantasy season's over. But other than that, they, Desmond Ridder was all right, but showed all the limitations that we thought. I didn't really take much away from that game. Titletown, did you have thoughts on the Ravens and the Falcons?
Not sure. I watched a second of it, so no.
All right. Yeah, we got a lot to get through, so that's fine. Tyler, Ravens, Falcons, any thoughts, any takeaways, or was that just a throwaway?
Just throwaway game there. The only thing is the Ravens now they're one game back of Cincy. They still have to play them for the division title. They could still win that division title with that win, and they flex their game this week into the Sunday night game.
Who do they play this week?
Steelers.
That's Sunday night over. Oh, because Bengals and Chiefs is Monday night, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. Steelers in prime time. All right. We'll talk about that later this week. You can get the whole shtick on that one later this week. Another one, not too much to say. Bills 12-3. They beat the Chicago Bears, who are now 3-12. Final score was 35-13. Bears looked like they might keep it close in the beginning. Allen made some mistakes. The first half was, Bears looked all right. And then the Bills just put their throat on them, or, put their foot on their throat. End of the game. Title, another one. Didn't take away much from it. The Bills are good. The Bears are bad. We already knew that.
Yeah, I mean, Fields came out, first drive, drove down the field, got in the end zone, 7-0. Yeah. Bills struggled early. I was like, man, I mean, the Bears are better than their record. I think Fields is definitely solid. 3-12. It feels like they've played a lot more closer games than that. I was like, going to be another close game. It was very cold. But man, Buffalo just dominated the line of scrimmage. They ran all over Chicago. Singletary 12 for 106. James Cook 11 for 99. Josh Allen that averaged about 7 yards a carry. They were able to get it done on the ground. Diggs didn't need to do anything. Bills showed that they can win games like this. Again, Bears aren't very good, but I do believe they are better than their record. So that's the only thing I got to say.
Well, the thing that the Bears did was they traded away their two defenders, and since then their defense has been the worst in the league. And it's just, I mean, it's like, what did Fields do in a former life? Tyler, what were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I had my one bet in here that didn't turn the color of my hoodie. It was Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And we were messaging.
Oh, and we messaged it, and we didn't think he was going to get it, right?
I open up the props. I see 1.5 passing touchdowns plus money on Josh Allen. I stare at it for 20 minutes. I'm like, this is basically got to be a Christmas gift. They're just kind of giving it to you. Even with the cold weather, the Bills should be able to move the ball. He throws the first one in the first quarter. It's like, oh, this is golden. He's got to throw another one. He doesn't throw the second one until there's 1 minute left in the fourth quarter, when it looked like they were just going to kneel the ball out anyway, and he gets lucky and throws one into the end zone. So I got lucky there. The Bills look like the Rams did last year. Looks like they're just going to stumble their way into the playoffs, and then they'll probably just walk through the AFC and be in the Super Bowl. So I'm not counting that team out at all.
All right. Yeah. And there's for good reason not to count that team out. Bengals barely covered, man. Talk about thinking it was going to be easy. They were up 22-0 at half. And we had the Bengals -3. That was an RPV play on the NFL Bets Playbook. Make sure you check that out if you're a member of runpuresports.com. I head over to the bets page. It's in the NFL section. NFL Betting Playbook gives you projections, all the props that Tyler likes. And of course, the RPV tag shows you what we are betting. That way we don't load up the sheet because, we do bet a lot more than just the very best plays that make the sheet. If you're not a member, I don't know what you're doing, but head on over to runpuresports.com, become a member, and start winning. Tyler, Title, we'll start with you. Bengals, man, I thought this was going to be an easy cover for me. I stopped paying attention, at other games, flipping through, red zone, kind of stopped paying attention. And then I'm looking and I almost didn't cover this game. What were your thoughts?
When are teams going to realize that when you're up 22, when you're up 25, when you're just dominating the game, that you should stick with what got you there and not just play pretty much prevent, limit the big play, and just let them drive down the field every time? Teams do it all the time. We'll get to the Cowboys and the Eagles game, but they did the same thing on the last drive. It's like, sure, take your 15 yards every single play. It makes no sense to me. And it seemed like that's what they did. Bengals were dominating this game. Take your foot off the gas. Defense just plays prevents. They change what was working for them. Then Mac Jones can start going down the field. I will never understand why teams don't do that. I get the big play. I get all that. But, man, they could hit the big play. Why weren't they doing it in the first and second quarter against you? And if they do, then you get the ball right back. So I will never understand why teams do it. You see it all the time. When you're up by that much, you change your scheme, and then the other team just drives down on you every single time. D. Higgins had a great game for me. Love to see that. Joey Burrow dropped back over 50 times, 40 for 52, 375, 3 touchdowns. And like I said, a lot of that, if the game was closer throughout the whole game, he would have dropped back 65 times. Now, looking at this team for the playoffs, is it sustainable to drop back 50-plus times in a playoff game when it gets really cold? It was cold in this one, obviously. Is that sustainable, though? Because, man, Mixon doesn't look great to me. The O-line is still a little questionable. They have the star power out wide, but I just can you throw your way to go and win a Super Bowl? I don't know. But, yeah, it's the only thing the main takeaway was, why do teams change what's been working for them when you get up by that much?
Is it almost like one of those things like, when you're young and it's like, well, we've always done it that way, but it's actually not a good reason?
Probably.
We've always done it that way, right?
The only thing people say is like, you limit the big play, but like how often? Yeah, maybe like take an extra step back. Like but they literally just give them first downs every single play. Just like Cowboys.
Yeah, if you're up 45-10 with 6 minutes to go, that's
sure.
Fine. But
sure.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And you know what? That's something that maybe will be changing here in the NFL. We've seen it can go the other way though. Do you remember that's a Raiders fan? I remember this one. Who is that crazy defensive coordinator? And he did a blitz everybody is when we still had Henry Ruggs, and Derek Carr just had the bomb.
I remember the walk.
What's that guy's name?
Greg Williams.
Yeah, Greg Williams. Was he?
I'm not saying. Guy? I'm not saying play cover zero like that.
That was a little bit too much, right, Tyler? But yeah, we'll find a happy medium there. Tyler, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Cincinnati, I think I'm worried about them a little bit just because it seems like they're getting all their luck out of the way before the playoffs start. They lucked into a win last week. They looked like they were going to lose this game, and New England drives it all the way down, and they fumble on the 5-yard line. They were on pace to lose this game. It's just Stevenson couldn't hold on to the ball. New England gets the ball back another time. They're trying to chunk off yards to get down the field. And it looked like Stevenson didn't even want to play football anymore. He's letting the ball hit him right in the hands. He's just dropping it. Belichick didn't like that in the locker room. So won't be touching Stevenson in anything in the next few weeks because we know Belichick. Don't be surprised if you get some Pierre Strong, some Kevin Harris in there now. But, definitely need to fire Matt Patricia. Mac Jones doesn't seem too bad. The one play on Eli Apple was just terrible. He tried to undercut him, take his legs out. They're talking about suspending him for that. But, New England got to make some differences. Cincy, they got to make some moves. But I think they're one of the best teams in the AFC. I got to go deal with this dog upstairs.
I was wondering that was. Title, we should have known Mac Jones was going to do that when he showed up to the game in a Grayson Allen jersey, right? Grayson Allen.
A scuba suit too or something.
Yeah, unbelievable there. So, all right, let's move it on. Lions, they lost. Normally I'd say Lions Panthers. We're not going to talk about it, but after the run that the Lions have been on, I thought it was a big win for Carolina, and it was a tough loss for the Lions. Now you can't stay hot forever. They had won 5 of their last 6 coming into this, but they really needed this game. They were a 2.5, 3-point favorite, depending on what time you bet it during last week against Carolina. But Carolina gets it done once again. And boy, I wish AP was on so we can ask him, what he thinks of Matt Rule now, because this team's been so much better since he left. What were your thoughts when the Lions actually came back to earth?
I mean, man, you're going to come back to earth when you get gouged by 300 plus yards on the ground. You can't stop anything. I mean, they got bullied at the line of scrimmage. It was 37-23. Goff threw for 3 touchdowns, 355 yards. But that was not, I mean, a lot of that was garbage time. Panthers dominated from the start. Couldn't stop the run. It opens everything else up. This Panthers team, they win out. They are in the playoffs. That'd be one of the craziest, probably the worst team I've seen make the playoffs in a long time. It'd be a crazy story. Good for them, though. I hope Deontay Foreman keeps going. As far as the Lions, man, I mean, when you come from that dome and you're so used to the good conditions and you haven't really played in the freezing cold, it looks like
they played in the cold against New York last week.
Well, not as cold, was it?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it looks to me like the cold was definitely bothering these guys. That they weren't used to that. Maybe that was just me. They just
no. You're probably right. I just remember us using that handicap last week, and it felt like they dispelled that notion that they couldn't play outside, and then it just sucks that it comes back.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. That was a takeaway.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
that they did last week.
It's so funny how they won against the Jets. They can play in the cold now, right? And we all, we're thinking, oh, this is a great opportunity for the Lions, but then it just comes right back.
Yeah, and then I mean, one of the crazier things you'll ever see, that Zane Zylstra dude, 3 touchdowns out of nowhere. I think I saw Land tweet.
Did anyone own him? Did anyone own him?
0.1%, and I think the dude shipped like all the money or something like that. It was so crazy. Land posted.
We got another.
Was he related to him?
Huh? I don't know.
Related to him?
Has to be his best friend. Even so, it could be my best friend. I ain't playing that dude ever, so I don't know how you get to Zylstra, but one of the crazier stat lines you'll see.
Yeah, it's like a Zig Ziglar there. What do you think, Tyler? The Lions, the nation's love affair with Dan Campbell comes to an end.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't stop the run. I mean, I'm pretty sure me and Title could have ran for 100 yards on that defense. They had 100 yards in the first quarter in the first two drives. Every run was for 40 yards. I don't think I could run that good if I put it on a rookie in Madden and took the defense off. So I don't know what happened there. It didn't make sense for the Lions. They were due to lay a dud. Carolina's still fighting for the division, so they played a great game. I just didn't see it coming. I thought Darnold stinks. He played a decent game, but he didn't really have to throw the ball with the way they ran it. So interested to see how that division plays out. Carolina and Tampa do match up here in a few weeks.
All right. Anything more on that game before we move on?
That's it for me. I mean, I don't know how Detroit even gets up. They probably don't sniff the playoffs here now with that extra loss. They probably needed to win out.
Well, I really hope that it comes down to Packers-Lions week 18 at Lambeau for the playoffs. That's what I'm hoping for. That could be real fun.
I mean, that's
probably
that's like really likely though, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, Packers win this week and Lions win. I think that's what.
Who do the Lions play this week?
They play the Bears. The Bears.
So they should. Is it in Chicago or in Detroit?
I would assume Detroit, but I don't know that answer for sure.
You got to be big Browns fans this week, Title.
Big Browns fans as well. Yep, big Browns fan. Who benched Heineke? What? They see Carson Wentz out there? I mean, man.
Yeah, Wentz went back out there, so that's a good thing. So they're probably going to lose another game. Seattle, I don't see making much noise. They seem to be falling off.
I know. I love that storyline, man. My old
Of course, because it's Pete Carroll. That's why
I want to just since we're already here, I want to talk about something. Right, this comeback player of the year odds all year have favored Geno. He has sucked the last 4 weeks.
Yeah. Him
and Barkley are now tied at plus 175. But there's a guy sitting right behind them who has more touchdowns than Barkley in a much better situation, and he's plus 250. Why can't CMC win this award?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's. I feel like there's just so much recency bias baked in. Like, I'd be surprised to see Geno win it at this point. So I think it probably is between Saquon and
Yeah, I think it's Saquon and CMC. And if CMC has a nuke game in the next 2 weeks, he will be the favorite here. So I'm gonna bet that at plus 250 now before he is a minus 200 in a few weeks. And if I lose it, so be it. I think Barkley's the only guy that can beat me.
I like it.
And then there's one other award I want to talk about. A couple guys in the chat probably won't like it, judging by their comments.
Oh, I already know where you're going. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, the odds keep coming down. He's plus 700 now. You look around, Kenneth Walker, another guy in Seattle where that team's falling apart. Not worried about him. The favorite, Garrett Wilson, has no quarterback right now.
Well, Mike White's starting this week at least.
He is starting this week?
Yeah, which is huge for him.
So if he has a big game, he locks up the award. If Buddy doesn't hit another 100 receiving yard game and Purdy wins out, I think that's Purdy's. So I already bet it at 10-1. He's down to 7. I know he hasn't played much of the season, but I think it's worth the shot.
No, I mean, I agree with you on both those, especially because you're getting these nice odds. So, all right, you said you're going to be a Browns fan this week. Did either of you guys watch the Saints and the Browns? I missed that one, Tyler, on Talking Touchdowns. I really like the Browns at home, and it's not that I like the Browns, it's that I wanted to fade the Saints on the road. They ended up fading me, getting the upset win. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I turned it on. It looked like every time either quarterback dropped back and moved in the wind that they just kind of like curled up into a ball because it was so cold.
How was that not the Browns' advantage, though? So lame.
I don't think there is an advantage when it's negative 40 out.
You have Nick Chubb.
It doesn't matter. You watch the first 2 kickoffs in that game. The kicker would kick the ball. His foot instantly came back off the ball. Like, I just kicked the brick.
Right.
The guy catches it. Each kick returner got out to the 40-yard line because it looked like nobody wanted to connect with impact that fast. It was like, screw this. This is really going to hurt in this weather. So it was an ugly game. Cleveland had the chance to win it. Watson threw a pass to a tight end right at the end of the game, right at the end zone. And the dude just completely dropped it. But in this weather, I mean,
I did see that end of the game. Watson did, and a couple big catches by Amari Cooper to get that drive going. But where I was disappointed was that Cleveland couldn't establish the run.
Yeah,
you talked about these guys not wanting to get hit. How was Chubb not taking advantage of that?
I agree, but you also look at the way Cleveland's played games, and it's not just been since Watson's got back. It was the last few weeks with Brissett under center. They seem to have went away from the run game a bit, and I just don't know why.
The only thing I can think is they're like, this season doesn't matter.
Maybe that's it. And they're like, we have to save this guy.
Let's just get him reps. Yeah. Let's get him like the most important reps we can have.
Yeah, but why are they not running Hunt then? You would just run the guy you're going to let walk in the offseason into the ground.
I think they just want Deshaun to get reps in the pocket. That'd be my guess.
Maybe that's it. Just get him warmed back up. But
what do you think is going on in Cleveland title?
Yeah, they got to play for next year. To get Deshaun, I mean, he didn't play for how many days? 750 or people? I mean, it hasn't played in so long. Get him back. Use this as live reps. Get ready for next year. See what works. Going to next year, aiming to get in the playoffs and stuff like that. I mean, this year, it's been a mess the whole time. Deshaun hasn't looked great. I'm not writing him off by any means. We've seen what he can do. Give him the whole offseason. Give him that. But, yeah, this year, it hasn't looked great since he's came back. Nick Chubb, 24 for 92. I mean, the box was so cold. I mean, they were daring you to throw the ball. They were one-on-one. The box was stacked. And there's only so much you can do when you're getting touched 1 yard after 1 yard. I mean, it was just a gross game. I didn't watch too much of it. But when I did, that was like, why am I watching this game?
Yeah, I mean, I had the Browns, and I was disappointed, and it didn't definitely. That was definitely one of my worst handicaps. Oh, the Saints are going to suck in the cold. The Saints are going to suck in the cold. Well, like Tyler said, it felt like both teams.
In your defense, they did suck in the cold. It's just the Browns sucked worse that day.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I kind of forgot both teams have to play in the conditions, right? Even though titles used to being out there in Wisconsin. Right, it's still pretty freaking cold for you.
It's still brutal. It's brutal, man.
So, one of my mistake handicaps, but this thing happens. The Vikings got another miracle win. I mean, this team, Tyler, but they beat the other team that you think is overrated. It was the overrated bowl, but I'll tell you what, it was one of the best games on TV. It ended up coming down to a 61-yard kick, and the dude just absolutely nails it. Imagine if that was outdoors, right? I mean,
no, it's a Hail Mary. You don't even
right.
No
It's the difference. Minnesota dome team up there in Minnesota. They get another win, but they made sure to keep it nice and close because they don't want their point differential to get too high and have us actually like them in the power rankings. What were your thoughts, Title?
You're going to Title first. I was about to say,
yeah, because I'm saving your rant. We're gonna. That it's like you're coming in hot. I already know.
I got 2 words: Justin Jefferson. That's why you win these games. That dude is a complete stud. Hawkinson had a game, but man, Jefferson, the dude's just always open. It's crazy. Favorite receiver in football, probably my favorite player in football. Dude just keeps getting the job done, keeps printing for me. It was like, 28% in cash on DK or something like that. I'm going to keep playing the man. I played him everywhere. Get him the football, good things happen. I needed the Vikings to win, and I need the Cowboys to win because I need Jalen Hurts to play next week. I really want that. Everything happened. Vikings keep finding ways to win, but their luck's running out soon. But, man, Justin Jefferson's going to keep doing him. Packers and Vikings at Lambeau next week is going to be fun.
All right, Tyler. You're killing the cipher now, just like when they used to put Method Man last on the guest ones. Come in with that heat. What you got?
Yeah, he said 2 words, Justin Jefferson, 2 words, Aaron Rodgers, because he's beating them next week, and then the first round of the playoffs, he's taking them out. It lines up perfect. They beat them here, they win out, they get the 7 seed. They're lining up right with this Vikings team.
Wow, I would love that.
No one trusts anyway. I know Justin Jefferson's a stud, but his quarterback's a bit of a guy that doesn't want to show up sometimes. Other games he does show up, which causes Jefferson to have games where he has 3 receptions for 12 yards. He hasn't had one of those in a few weeks. It's coming in the next few weeks. It's either coming this week against
Better not be this week.
Or they lay a dud.
This week.
Or my guess is it happens wild card round and Kirk just can't do anything, and that's when they lose the game. This team just cannot keep winning 1-score games. 0-10 last year in 1-score games, 11-0 in 1-score games this year. I know variance has to flip. It shouldn't flip a full 180. This team is going to lose a 1-score game here soon. Kurt is known to turn the ball over when there's pressure on him. Someone's going to get the pressure late in games. The Giants did everything they could to win that game, and then they hit a 61-yard field goal to win the game. What else do you want teams to do? This team, we talked about the horseshoe up the Giants' ass. Well, they ripped it out of the Giants' ass a few weeks ago, and they've had it shoved up theirs for the longest time. It's going to fall out soon. I'm fading this Vikings team for the rest of the way. They're losing in the first round of the playoffs.
Tyler, like an English monastery in the 1100s, absolutely hates the Vikings as they continue to get improbable victories. All right, but Title's loving that Justin Jefferson call, and I'm assuming he needs that big week for your best ball finals next week.
Yeah, it's looking good, man.
Yeah,
that LSU, I can't get a purple jersey in my closet, but that LSU Justin Jefferson jerseys, it's getting close to getting there.
You can get the white one.
Huh?
You can get the white LSU. I ain't getting the white LSU one.
Oh, maybe I'll do that. It's gonna be LSU though. It can't be purple, unfortunately. But I gotta rep my guy.
Yeah, well, we can't wait for you to start victory lapping all those best ball victories on the show next week. Chiefs finally covered a game against the Seahawks, man. You know how disappointing this was for me. I took the Seahawks plus 10. I thought it was going to be a fun game. I thought they'd show some fight. I thought they'd keep it close. And if they were going to lose and not cover, maybe I could at least got some beautiful stuff from the Chiefs, right? And running up the score, some great plays. Overall, this game was just a dud to me. Chiefs didn't necessarily go off. The Seahawks did absolutely nothing. I believe that final touchdown was pretty late in the game, right? I mean, it was 24-3 most of the game. I think that was a fourth quarter touchdown there against Title's favorite prevent defense. Start talking about the Chiefs there, Title, and boy, too bad to the Seahawks. It was a fun story. If the season was only 8 weeks, they'd be awesome.
Well, I'll start with Seahawks quick because, I mean, it helped me in prize picks. I took Kenneth Walker's over rushing yards, a decent day there. But I was so surprised that Kenneth Walker, like, they were down from the jump. They were down early. They were down the whole game. And he still ran the ball 26 times. Like, it was like Pete Carroll wasn't – I mean, it was like they weren't taking chances. It was like they were fine losing. I mean, if you're down all game, you're down 2 possessions most of the game, 3 possessions – how does your running back carrying the ball 26 times? Now, I was happy. It benefited me, but it was just a very interesting I don't know. When you're down that much, when you get down early, you don't establish it in the second half when you're still down that much. So I didn't really understand that too much. Jerick McKinnon, another jersey that might be on the way, still finds the box. Didn't have a great game, but man, he got it done. Kelsey had a good game. I mean, the Chiefs did what they had to do. It was awful, really cold weather. Seahawks team, they had something to play for. Chiefs looked good. They dominated that game. Could have played better for sure, but if I have my money on any quarterback, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. So nothing, no surprises here.
Tyler, your thoughts?
Yeah, same here. No real surprises here. I'm just done betting player props on the Chiefs side because you try and bet Kelsey to get into the end zone, and you have Tony catching one pass and a touchdown. So you got to love to see that.
Keep betting McKinnon. Please, McKinnon. One more week.
All right.
I'll keep my bets on McKinnon.
I'll let the chat guess.
If I bet McKinnon this week, title Pacheco's going in 3 times.
Fair enough.
Guess who Title has on his best ball teams? Minus 1,000 if you can get it.
Yep, you know exactly.
Bro, terrible weekend for Team Tough Guy coaches, except for Saturday night, but we'll get to that later. Vrabel loses to the Texans? Oh my gosh, my Saturday was in shambles. How does this happen?
He has no quarterback.
You're not high on Liberty graduate Malik Willis?
You mean the guy that couldn't read high school defenses?
Oh, no, it's terrible, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what, he was the only one that didn't get to play Madden when he was a kid?
I mean, how do guys like that, you're telling me there's not better guys out there on the street that had college experience?
It's because athletically, he's got a cannon, and I mean, really, if we're to do combine, he's got to be right next to Justin Fields. He's just as fast and he can throw just as far, right?
No.
You don't
the
think
guy
so?
The guy that went third in the draft would be right next to Fields, maybe ahead of him.
Who?
Lance.
Who's that?
Trey Lance.
Is he still in the NFL?
Yeah, the guy that kicked your starting quarterback out of the way before his foot fell off, and then your quarterback's foot fell off.
Sounds like we got a foot problem out here in San Francisco. All right. Yeah, okay. So Tyler said it's because they have no quarterback. Do you agree, Title? I mean, what's going on there? I think they just have injuries everywhere.
I mean, sure, but when you're playing against Davis Mills, Dare Ngubwale, Royce Freeman, Philip Dorsett, Amari Rodgers, it don't matter who your quarterback is. You have Derrick Henry and you got Mike Vrabel as you love. You have I mean, you can't lose that game, period. That's all I got to say. I mean, that's a brutal loss.
Yeah, Jaguars fans are happy though. Tyler, do you want to?
Speaking of, I saw the tweet that next week the Jags play the Titans, and that game won't matter at all. Like week 18 will matter, but week 17 won't matter at all. And I saw a tweet a couple of years ago they rested Derrick Henry in week 17 when something didn't matter. I don't know what's going to go on, but I guess there's possibilities, and this is why best ball it's going to be nuts.
Wait! They arrested Derrick Henry in a week that didn't matter.
They rested. Not arrested.
Oh,
arrested.
I thought you said, man, he got arrested.
No,
yeah, this week of football doesn't matter. Round them up.
Yeah. No, so I just saw a tweet earlier from I forget who it was, but it could be really interesting for the Jags. And I think it was the Titans. Jags play Houston in the nut spot in the dome, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. You're going to have to monitor who has to play for what teams are doing these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that is interesting. How does it turn out like that?
I don't know. I saw it was something with it because they must play each other in week 18.
They play each other in week 18.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that's going to matter.
Oh, okay.
Win or lose,
the Titans played 5 division games to the Jags 4, to where even if they lose this game to the Texans, they have identical
the tiebreaker.
They have identical division records, which means they still hold that division because they beat them already.
Very sharp, Tyler. Very sharp. Okay. Anything more about the sadness that was Team Tough Guy coaches losing there?
Nah, you could just slam the door shut. That team's dead.
That team's been dead. I've been saying that for a little. That's one thing I got right was this team was cheeks.
They're not bad. I mean, half their team's on the injured reserve.
I mean, still, Tannehill was never going to lead them anywhere. You need.
Is this team ever going to win or make a Super Bowl spread? I say no.
You guys are absolutely right there. I was kind of being devil's advocate there. I mean, you're right. I mean, Tannehill had that one great year where statistically he was really good.
They had one shot at the Super Bowl. They were up,
and that was because they had
24
AJ Brown, and the guy makes contested catches
and they
left
were up
and right.
what,
So you don't need to
points on
read
the
a
Chiefs?
defense.
And they
Yeah, the
still couldn't
Chiefs.
make it.
You don't
Yeah.
need to read a defense with AJ Brown. You just throw it near him, and then
they were so dumb getting rid of him.
and they got the guy fired. They got the guy fired.
Yeah, after they watched AJ Brown house 2 touchdowns, they're like, get the hell out.
Yeah, they're like, bro, he's not worth the money.
They're like Traylon Burks.
Money.
They thought Traylon Burks was the same guy because they have the same like height and jump ball guy. I don't know what they thought, but they thought Traylon Burks was a replacement.
Talk about a terrible mistake. So that was a rough one for Team Tough Guy, but we're gonna get it back. So would you guys both just give up on Malik Willis right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen enough.
Like if you were able to get, say, your guy, Derek Carr, for cheap, I'd go get him.
100%.
Oh,
I still have faith. I still have faith in Derek Carr. Some type of faith. But I had a little faith in Sam Darnold. And I mean, even though he won that game.
How can you still have faith in Derek Carr?
I mean, he's better than Malik Willis. I still think he's okay. I think he's better than a couple quarterbacks right now.
Listen, Spread. Name all the good quarterbacks in the league, like the actual good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know there's only 5 of them.
Okay, so it's like after that, Carr's got to be in that next group of guys that you would trust, other than like.
Who would you rather have, Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr?
Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins right now is what, like a top 10 quarterback?
I'm taking Derek Carr because I think they're the same exact guy, and if you put Derek Carr on the Vikings, I think they do exactly what they're doing right now.
He's got Javonte Adams. He should have Justin Jefferson like numbers. Dak Prescott or Derek Carr?
Dak, but that's another. I mean, I don't think Carr's the top 15, but I don't think he's bottom.
All the guys
8.
you're naming are just the guys I have grouped with them, basically.
I know. I just think he shouldn't be in that group anymore.
Where are you putting him? Down there with the bums?
I mean, what you throw
in the Mac Jones group?
No,
yeah, I think he's way better. You put Derek Carr with Zeke. I don't even like Zeke, but Pollard, CD. I mean, the defense, like I mean,
Jacobs, Devontae, Renfro, Waller. I mean, the guy's got stuff to work with.
Waller's been hurt over half the year. Renfro's been hurt over half the year.
They just came back last 2 weeks.
Devontae's getting pretty much doubled. I mean, Jacobs is doing his thing.
Devontae was doubled the whole time in Green Bay.
Rodgers in his prime
behind me is smarter than the head coach for the Raiders, also. So,
yeah, I was just talking about that yesterday because it was about like my buddy was like the Panthers. They make the playoffs. Like this coach is going to be the guy. I'm like, what happened to the Raiders when they went on their run? They made the playoffs with their interim coach. Then they almost beat the Bengals, who almost won the Super Bowl. And they're like, no, let's kick him to the road. He'll go to as a special teams coach in Green Bay. Let's get McDaniels. Like, what do these guys need to prove? I mean, if you're winning games, the team like what was your thoughts on that spread?
The dude has to stop taking advice from his PF Chang's waiter and it's just unbelievable. I'm so sick of that bowl cut guy. Unbelievable.
Carr or Tom Brady? Yeah, Derek Carr by a mile this year. I've been hating on Tom Brady.
Brady looked bad last night. We'll get into that one.
Fade the Buccaneers. I've been saying fade. I mean,
that team is so figured out right now. How many teams do you see drop 6 into drop coverage? Like they are up at the line, like throw it deep. We dare you to throw it over our head. Not a lot of teams do that, and he would not take that shot over their head.
Brady or Goff? He said, Swoop said, I'll take Brady over Goff. I'll take Goff by a mile.
No way. Jared Goff is way better right now.
Yeah, another comment to touch on from Swoop said everyone thought Fields sucked too. All Buddy's done is run the ball. He hasn't thrown the ball worth a shit.
Yeah, Tyler's not convinced on Fields yet. He hasn't thrown the ball. Well, who's he throwing to? Dante Pettis, Cumulus St. Brown,
such a good quarterback. You make him work.
Fields is going to be good.
I agree with you there, Spread. But
I'll believe it when he's throwing for a 300.
Let's talk about the Cowboys and the Eagles, man. Another one disappointed. I thought the Eagles would cover. Gardner Minshew coming off that Mike Leach narrative. I was just fully invested in the storyline. They get off to a great start. I was just thinking, I should have put more money on it. And when it was 10-0 and Dak threw that interception, I think the guy's name was Sweat, right? Great play.
Sweat.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable play there. I should have put more on this. They're going to control the line of scrimmage. They're not going to be able to run the ball. And then the Eagles end up giving it up. Let's give credit to the Cowboys, though. I don't want to bash the Eagles. I thought the Cowboys played well. They made plays when it mattered. They get the win. What did you think of that one, Title?
Well, Swoop said Brady would be better with a line and weapons. You're telling me Godwin, Mike Evans, I mean, Fournette's a little banged up right now. Julio's still there. I mean, you tell me he doesn't have weapons. That dude has plenty of weapons. I thought Rashad White's fine. I mean, I don't know if Goff's weapons are necessarily bad. Zylstra is Goff's weapons. Of course, Amra, but I don't know that. I don't think it's Brady's weapons that are the problem.
It's his offensive line.
The offensive line for sure. But when Brady was doing all this thing for so long, I always said the dude has 8-9 seconds back in the pocket. That's not normal. He's always played behind the best offensive line with Belichick and all that. So, now he has to deal with what other quarterbacks deal with not a now you
Spoiler
see
alert title. He ain't dealing with that next year when he ends up taking Spread's guy's spot.
Oh, I mean, he's
wait. What?
I think he muted himself.
Yeah, I don't know what he's.
I seen his mouth move and no words came out.
Wait, what? Can you guys hear me?
Now I can hear you.
You think Brady's gonna take over Carr's spot?
He's taking Jimmy G's spot. He's going home.
He's going somewhere with an offensive. He's going somewhere with an offensive line because he's done it.
They found the answer.
He grew up in San Francisco. He's gonna roll in and be like, "Hey, you know who I am?" And they're gonna go, "Yep." He's gonna be like,
you're 47 years old. Go bang Kurt's ex-girlfriend in Tampa. We're rolling with Brock Hard.
He's going to San Fran. He's playing 1 year and they're gonna win it. Imagine Brady with a Trent Williams offensive line, CMC in the backfield, Kittle in the tight end spot, which is basically Gronk all over again. Debo and Ayuk on the outside. That's Super Bowl right there.
I mean, like we talked, that's what we said always about Jimmy G and Brock Purdy. Yeah, Brady will need to go to a situation. He's played beyond the best offensive line.
He looks terrible this year.
For sure. And
There's no way I look at that tape and I go, I would want him on my team.
But the offense, I don't think he's like, he's
like 47 years old.
If you're the Niners, though, and you come up short again this year, you look at a guy like that, and I get it, he hasn't looked good this year, but you're like, this guy has the winning mentality. He's done it before. We have all the pieces in place for him. Give him the 12 to 13 million for 1 year and just come do your thing.
I think he's more likely to end up in Vegas as much as I don't want him because I
don't think he's coming there. There's no offensive line.
Yeah, he's going to go somewhere with
an offensive line.
This was the big thing when he left New England. Everyone was like, he's going to the Chargers. He's going to the Chargers. It was like, who the fuck is blocking for him? And then there was Tampa Bay waiting down there with a great offensive line. It's like, hey, buddy's going to end up in Tampa. No, you're crazy. He's going to the Chargers. There's all the weapons in L.A. Nah, there's no offensive line. Look where he ended up at.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's enough of that. But I was just...
I don't even know which game we're on. Aren't we on Cowboys Eagles?
Yeah, Cowboys Eagles. I caught the very beginning. I caught like Dak's interception and then I caught the very end. But I was at church. I had church at 6 Eastern. It was so I missed most of this game, so I can't really talk on it much. But what a great game it looked like it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat with you, minus the church thing. I was just driving to family members' houses. I caught the pick six. Caught the end of the game. I mean, Dak got sacked six times. They were still able to win the game. The one that surprised me the most is he threw a bomb down the field, and the dude stood up, and the last name on the back of his jersey was Hilton. I didn't even know T.Y. Hilton was still in the league.
He just got signed with him
over Odell.
Yeah, so, I mean, well, that's because they said Odell's knee isn't fully ready yet either, so they were like, yeah, we're done with that.
I mean, we can choose a guy who can actually play, so.
Yeah, but the other thing that I don't get about this team is why are you going out and signing receivers when you have James Washington waiting in the wings? Like, that's a jump ball guy. He was great in college at Oklahoma State. Pittsburgh didn't want to use him whatsoever. I feel like you could launch him a couple deep balls and he'll make some plays in Dallas.
Interesting. That's okay. There we go. And first I've heard of James Washington for a while. All right. Let's move on. That was a good game, though. And give credit to Cowboys for winning. Like, I don't want to downgrade the Eagles too much, and that means that they have not yet clinched the number one seed. Tyler's favorite team, the Vikings, still alive to get that bye. Tyler, Saturday night, it was cold. The Raiders versus the Steelers, the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. They're running Franco's funeral at halftime, and Mike Tomlin said, guys, we got to do it, even though they're the least talented team. According to you guys, they have the worst quarterback. Who even knows, right? The Raiders, they have the better running back. They have the better offensive line. You guys had the better defense. But Mike Tomlin got his guys to get it done. What did you think, Tyler, as the Raiders once again blow another lead? I'll tell you what, I won't make that joke. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, they blew a lead, but Boswell missed, 3 field goals. Get that man out of Pittsburgh. I don't know
Bro, you
I
were
don't
talking
know.
about
I don't care
Cleveland
about-
game. What's the difference? It was like 11
I
degrees
do not
out.
care about weather. There was no wind in Pittsburgh
You
at
cared
night.
about weather when we talked about the Cleveland game?
Yeah, there were 40-mile-an-hour gusts of winds. There was no wind in Pittsburgh. It was just cold.
There was yins.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's always yins, but he couldn't hit a field goal to save his life. Bring back the Matthew Wright kid and quit paying Boswell like $8 million a year. I don't know why they pay kickers every time a kicker has a good 2 years. They're like, let's pay this guy. Let's keep him for the time being. They give him his money. Dude can't make a field goal to save his life now. So that happened. You guys should have won this game. He had Renfro. He had Renfro splitting the safeties straight down the middle of the end zone, and he overthrew him by about a yard. If he drops that ball into Renfro's hands, Renfro goes straight down the middle with 10 seconds on the clock for a touchdown.
I'll tell you what he's elite at is saying that he's frustrated at the podium after the game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think they should have ran Jacobs a bit more. They didn't.
Everybody. Jacobs did too. He said, I'm sick of this.
Yeah. I don't know. The Steelers are just messing up their draft stock. They have this weird, stupid path that all I hear about is everyone talking about. They need 2 teams to lose every game from here on out, another team to win 1 game and lose another, and then they somehow make the playoffs. So I just hope the Chargers win and put that all out of bed tonight.
I don't know. Najee Harris looked pretty good. Jumping over defenders. What were your thoughts on the Steelers and the Raiders?
What do you mean he looked good? He was 16 for 53 and averaged 3.3 yards a carry.
He jumped over somebody.
He does it all the time. Oh,
just because you hurdle a guy, what you get extra points for
in my mind,
hurdle?
you do. It should be a daily fantasy point.
No, I saw someone say he's Trent Richardson Jr. and yeah, he is definitely
That's
Trent
what
Richardson.
Tyler says.
Yeah, I mean the dude Najee Harris's cheeks. Get Warren is better. As far as this game, I didn't watch a second of this game though. So what can I say? I just looked at the numbers and saw that he averaged that. I watched so much football throughout the day. There's family. Knew the next day would be very busy. Anytime I checked my phone, it looked like the worst game ever. So I was like, why am I watching this game? Why would I watch this game?
I mean,
Josh Jacobs, I was
coaching.
Huh? Did you just see Mike Tomlin coaching? Yeah. When Tyler's talking about Boswell like that, I'm saying the same thing about Mason Crosby. He is going to miss a big time kick when it comes really soon. Anything that's 42 yards and over, you're clenching your butt cheeks. You're holding your breath because this dude has a noodle leg. Scary stuff. Mason Crosby.
Wait, noodle leg? I don't think I've heard that before.
Noodle arm, noodle leg. The dude.
He used to have one of the best legs in the game. It's just died over the last couple of years.
Yeah, Father Time's undefeated. Like I would never minded Mason Crosby, but there's a time that you got. I mean, you see these kickers making 61-yard field goals. Like Mason Crosby, we have 61-yard field goal to win the game. Mason Crosby ain't making a 61-yard field goal. So. Yeah, I mean, Tyler saying Boswell, I thought the same thing about Crosby. I just have a bad
You guys
feel.
are getting rid of these old kickers, but you want to put Brady in the best offense in the NFL.
Boswell hurt his head for 3 weeks, Brad, and we brought in the kid Matthew Wright. He didn't miss a single field goal for 3 weeks. They brought back Boswell. He's had 1 blocked, and he's missed 3. Get him the hell out of here. You got 1 job. Kick the ball. That's it. Bring back the kid that doesn't miss.
Nice. Kevin said Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl his last Super Bowl came in the wild card. Yeah, it was Tyler. Tyler shared the thing. 2010. Rodgers had 11 interceptions that year. 11 interceptions this year when they ran the table. I would be shocked. I would absolutely be. I definitely do not think this team's like that. But if there's ever a team, this NFC, we talk about it. I mean, you get by these Eagles. Yes, the Cowboys are fine. They got Mike McCarthy though. They can always lose games. I'm not sold on the Vikings. I mean. You win a game against the Eagles, I think the NFC is wide open. But no, the Packers, I hope, but I still don't.
I mean, the way this NFL season,
I don't think the NFC is wide open. I think it's gift wrap for the Eagles.
Well, that's the only team though. But I mean, you win 1 game, right? Like playoff football. I mean, cold weather in Philly. I mean, a team can win.
And the way it lines up too is like Green Bay upsets the Vikings in round 1. They're going to Philly round 2. And they played Philly pretty good that week that they played them in the regular season. They showed life on the ground. I think that's a team that can give them problems. And we've seen those 1 seeds kind of come out flat after the bye week in these spots.
And who knows,
surprise me.
I mean, it would be week 18 that they wouldn't play if they win this week. Then it'd be that. I mean, it'd be a long break. Now, I don't think Packers are great. I think the Eagles are definitely getting there. But in the playoffs, it just takes 1 game. I mean, anything can happen.
I got to touch on this one. Richie Smalls says, in all fairness, Tucker's had about 3 or 4 blocked the last couple of weeks. All of them were blocked. Boswell is just missing them. And the one he had blocked, the guy wasn't even past the line of scrimmage to block it. He couldn't kick it 5 feet over the line of scrimmage. The dude just jumped straight up and smacked it down with his hands. So, I mean, he has no leg power anymore in my eyes. Bring back the young kid.
All right. There we have it. But Mike Tomlin, he was working. He gets it done. The coaching mismatch, I think, in the end was just too much for the Raiders. Imagine if Tomlin had our team.
Oh, yeah. And one thing I want to give, great call for our guy JSU on that early show yesterday.
Mercedes Lewis.
Literally the words out of his mouth. He's like, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they want to get Mercedes Lewis in the end zone. First touchdown, Mercedes Lewis.
My buddies were texting me. I didn't watch the show, but my buddies, because, I mean, Rodgers loves Mercedes Lewis. He always hypes him up. The dude just run blocks. He does all that. Rodgers loves rewarding him. So that was I thought it was going to be Mangone. That said it because he's a Packers fan. Again, I didn't watch the show. My buddy texted me, it was JSU. I mean, he couldn't have said it any better. Rodgers loves getting that guy in the end zone. So, and then he had that Rodgers threw that absolute dime rolling out to his left. Mercedes Lewis dropped it right in the bread basket down the sideline. Mercedes had a game.
Yeah, talk to us about that game, Tyler. Give us all your takeaways.
I mean, again, so what changed this whole game? We wouldn't be talking about any of this if Raheem Mostert didn't fumble with 2 minutes left before half. The game would have been over. 20-10, they're driving, 2 minutes, they take up all the clock, they get a field goal, they get a touchdown, whatever it means. Instead, he fumbles, Packers go get the field goal, they get the kick, they go bring it down. It's 2020, it's a whole new ball game. That fumble absolutely changed the whole game. Defense stepped up. I mean, also what I will say is, man, the Dolphins shot themselves in the foot on first down so many times. They were running, they could get 10 yards, 15 yards every single carry with Mostert, with Jeff Wilson, whatever it was. Then you get a holding, back you up 1st and 20, and then it just changes the whole drive. So that's why, I think the Dolphins lost the game more than the Packers won the game. I didn't think the Packers deserved to win the game.
But Mangone told me that they had the best coach in the NFL.
Where is that Dolphin lover at?
Oh, McDaniel. Oh, yeah. Well, no, I don't necessarily think it was the coach that lost. I mean, that fumble lost him the game. I mean, yeah, coaching, you can always look at it in close games. But I thought,
yeah, what's the rule you give on? You've given that rule
right.
a lot of times on the show, Title.
You're right. 4.6 point, whatever it is. You are right. But I mean, if for me, watching it, the holdings, the false starts, the legal formations, they had so many penalties that set them back on first down, and then that fumble by Mostert. So, yeah, I mean, Tua doesn't have it. Yeah, I mean, noodle arm for sure. Just get the ball to Tyreek or Waddle, though, and good things happen, as we saw early in the game.
Bro.
Spread, what was that thinking? This dude sucks.
I know. Remember when we loved him last year? I remember me and you were
like, the one thing I will kind of give myself a back pad for is the hip injury probably ruined the kid, but I mean, they're throwing quote unquote timing routes in that game yesterday. Yeah. The receivers aren't even turning around yet, and he's trying to whip the ball at him. He threw an interception to Mostert where Mostert didn't even look back yet. When he looked back, Campbell already had the ball and was going the other way. On the last drive, it looked like you pressed A too many times trying to snap the ball on Madden because he literally snapped it and then just whipped it at the first receiver. No one's looking. Interceptions coming back the other way. He looked absolutely terrible. I think he's ever since that San Fran game, I think they completely figured that offense out. You just you don't let them force everything short. You don't give them everything deep. You just kind of switch it up throughout the game. And Tua can't decide if he's going to overthrow or underthrow the receivers. And look what happens. He just starts throwing a bunch of picks. They should have ran the ball more, even though they started to blow the game late. But, I mean, those running backs should have been able to eat this team up. Wilson looked great on the ground. Mostert was starting to have a day, and then he fumbled. So, Miami's just slowly starting to fall apart, and Green Bay looks like they're going to put it together right before the playoffs.
Title, 4 losses in a row for Miami. What are your outlook for the team from here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm scared, especially because you go to cold weather. You don't want this Miami team going to cold weather in the playoffs. I'm scared for them for sure.
Richie Small says overthrow is not an option for Tua. He overthrew a couple of those receivers. It's not on deep balls. When they force everything short is when he misses those guys. He throws it right over their head to the safeties.
I mean, he threw the ball to Tyreek earlier too, where if he lays it out a little more in front, and just
he's in the end zone.
Yeah, it's an easy touchdown. I mean, the one at the 1 yard line he could have been in, that was still a good throw. Though I'll give him, it could have been way better. But the one earlier, I think it was Douglas or something he beat. He got to turn around. You get a little more air into that ball, a little farther out. I mean, Tyreek's in for 6. He missed too many throws. And yeah, the arm's a concern. How couldn't it be?
Yeah. Rough scene for our guy Travis, who thought that Mike McDaniel could win the Super Bowl before Jim Harbaugh. Unbelievable.
I don't think either guy might get another one. They might just hang out for a couple years.
Yeah, I think that bet's going to be a push. Did either of you guys watch the Rams and the Broncos?
I'll give my breakdown of this game. I had Denver's defense and Latavius Murray in my lineups, and I walked in my aunt's house and I heard interception. I was like, "Who's got the ball?" And I'm walking up the steps and I turn the corner and look in, and it's the Rams, and they're already up 14-0. I was like, "We're gonna watch basketball now because we're not watching this."
I wonder when did those ratings come out? I wonder how they did.
I feel like the first game I feel like the Packers Miami had to be decent. This game had to have been awful, and then the night game. I mean, I
just think with best ball and fantasy playoffs and the ease of DFS, like I was really surprised when I watched JSU's show yesterday morning that all the chat wanted to hear about NFL first, because I'm sitting there building an NBA lineup because that tipped first, and everyone wanted to talk NFL, even though it was. You guys call things cheeks.
You had all the prize pools in NFL.
NFL always will reign superior. And you only get it a couple days a week. Huge prize pools.
You had showdown slates in the NBA that dwarfed the NBA main slates prizes. That's why everybody was worried about NFL.
You said NFL showdown?
Oh, you mean NFL showdown slates?
Yeah, with the NFL showdowns, that last game was the
worked for me because I didn't cash in NFL, but I cashed in NBA.
There you go. You play a little James Harden or Christian Wood?
I didn't even have either of them. Oh, I had Harden.
Yeah,
I think.
Both of them
I don't even know.
My NBA lineup was good until the last game, and then Devin Booker's dick fell off, and he had to go to the locker room.
That was tough. That was a great talk about a great game. That was a great game.
I know. What's up with my boy Aaron Gordon though? Title.
He caught a body.
That was sweet. So did you watch the Rams and Broncos, or were you like the rest of us that are normal?
Well, I watched the beginning of it until it was like, why am I still watching this game? I mean, the big story, Hackett's finally gone. It took him long enough. I guess they wanted the draft pick.
And he's the problem?
Well, I mean,
you convince Lombardi win with Russ? Unbelievable.
I mean, he's got to be part of the problem. I mean, I
agree with you there.
There's no way you bring
he's good.
There's no way you'd bring him back. So it's just when, and we got the answer of when. It had to be this week. Baker Mayfield and these Rams just did that to you. I mean, it had to have been time. That was as bad of an ass kicking as you can get.
All right. That game sucked. The night game, I guess it was all right. It was competitive. It went to overtime. Brady looks terrible. That's why I'm surprised. Like, you think that Shanahan would watch tape and watch the number of throws that he misses and want him in there?
I mean, I look at him like I look at Jimmy G. He can win with Jimmy G. He can win with Purdy. He can win with Brady. The offensive lines, I agree. I don't think Brady's complete. Like, he still has some zip on his throat. I mean, he missed Mike Evans. That was a really bad one. If you have an offensive line, though, Brady can get it done. Almost anyone can get it done on this Niners team. I mean, they're just loaded at everywhere. Great defense, great weapons, run the ball.
But don't you want a guy with at least some sort of movement? Like, at least Purdy can avoid the rush.
No, I mean, Brady wouldn't be my first option.
First of all, let me just throw that out. Brady's not going to the Niners. He's not coming in there because Shanahan's not going to change his whole system and run the Brady system. If he goes anywhere, he's going to go to McDaniels. There's no way Shanahan's bringing him in there. He already got one coach.
You and Tyler know that stuff more. I just wait for the news to hit and then I adjust.
I just don't think there's any way.
Bookmark it, 12/26. We're going to be pulling this show back up when he signs that contract. And he's going to be like, Tom Brady's never going to San Francisco.
Yeah, go ahead. Here, I'll full screen it.
Put it in your notes, Tyler.
Tom Brady is not going to the San Francisco 49ers because neither him or Kyle Shanahan will want to cede control of the offense. And Tom Brady's not going to go and do all the play calls that Shanahan wants. And Shanahan's not going to cede control to a 47-year-old quarterback who can't even hit Mike Evans while he's wide open.
This is going to be a fun one at the end of the day.
All right, let's continue the show, Tyler. What were your thoughts?
Are we on the San Fran game? Do we bounce back to the Saturday games or?
No,
Are
we're
we on
talking
the
about
night
Brady and the Buccaneers.
Okay,
and that
yeah, I
terrible
mean,
game.
That game was ugly. Outside of my DFS lineups being 3 points out of first, I was just watching it, hoping Suck Up could hit a few more field goals.
And we had the under. JJ put that in the Discord. I told him that. That was fun.
Yeah, crushed the under there. It was just an ugly game. I'm just DFS wise for me, just watching the game. Every time I looked up, the only two guys I have from the Cardinals were Connor and Dortch. And I swear every play went to those guys.
Yeah.
Like Hopkins, non-existent. McBride, non-existent. McSorley, forgot his legs worked. Like there was just no one else on that offense. But a couple little different pieces I'd have been shipping. But it was a nice night. The game was boring. A Godwin touchdown. If he'd have caught that touchdown at the end of the game that he dropped in the end zone on that contested catch, that would have been the nuts for me.
That wasn't a good throw either.
It wasn't, but I was also into the coverage.
Brock Purdy's playing better than he is right now.
I mean, Brady's looked he's looked awful. I kept saying I wouldn't back this team. I mean, there's no chance I'm backing these Buccaneers.
There was no chance I was back.
I mean, you talk about the Vikings getting lucky. How did the Buccaneers not fall in this conversation?
Oh, they definitely, yeah. I mean, but the Vikings at least beat the Giants, whereas Buccaneers just sweep by this Cardinals team with their third stringer.
12-3. The other one's what? 8-6 or 6-8.
They're 6-8, and they should be 2-12.
They're 7-8. So like we kind of know they're bad to where it's like everyone's looking at the Vikings like casual.
No, nobody is. The Vikings.
Casual fans look at the Vikings. They're like they're 12-3. They got to be one of the best teams.
That's true. There's a lot of casual. We live in a bubble. There's a lot of casual fans that think that. For sure.
I know it is weird because like I'll be like everybody I know is on in our space is on some team plus the points. And then I go talk to all my friends like at the warehouse that are
they think everyone's
they all laid it.
Yep. Yeah, they have no. Yeah, we live in a bubble for sure.
All right. Rance is tired of the Brady talk. All right, Richie Smalls reminding me, guys, we're here every Monday talking touchdowns. Just for you, hit that thumbs up, and if you're not a member, head on over to runpuresports.com. The best in sports, gambling, and daily fantasy information. Any more hot takes for this weekend before we break down this barn burner tonight? Thanks, NFL.
I mean,
it was the weather. It was the week of the weather, man. I mean,
I think we should start looking at these a little bit now that they're up, just because these prices are just going to slowly trickle down. And we got pretty close last year, title. What do we think the matchup is this year?
Yeah, we did. We got really close.
Eagles, Chiefs.
I'm thinking maybe it's a bit. I'm thinking the Bills get it.
Last year we had to pick like the sleepers though. You went 49ers, I went Bengals. We had to go the sleeper route.
I don't know if it's a sleeper route this year though.
In the end of I mean, man,
maybe the NFC, but I think the Bills kind of just walk through the AFC.
The Bills, wow.
Why do you think that?
Just the more I look at it, it's like they're doing what the Rams did. They're just going to kind of get there. And it's going to look like they shouldn't do anything come playoff time. And then it's going to be win, win, win. And it's going to be like, oh, they're in the Super Bowl.
Dude, you know what's a big blow that we actually didn't talk about yet? Did you see that La'el Collins got injured in the Bengals game?
I knew right.
That's huge.
Me and my buddy were watching that game, and I watched that dude roll. Like, he popped after that dude fell on his leg.
Yeah.
And he's rolling around on the ground. He's even grabbing the defender's leg in grieving pain. I was like, I don't know what he did to that leg. I was like, but I know it's either broken or there's ligaments that aren't connected anymore. And he tore 3 of them.
Yeah.
So that's just going to get
so the Bengals would have been the fun one. I know, they made it last year, so they're not dark horse, but they have the lowest odds out of the top 3 teams. But you really got to worry about that. He's been playing really well for that team. Title, pick an AFC team.
I'm gonna. It feels, and yeah, this year it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna say it's gonna go Chiefs Niners. I can't say Chiefs Eagles.
Niners?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Niners.
You think Jimmy G's coming back?
No, I look at Jimmy G just like I look at Brock Purdy. And when Jimmy G was there, I said, yeah, they have all the pieces. Don't make mistakes. This team can get it done. Run it down your throat. Control the game. I'm a little nervous. I don't know about you.
I'll be honest. Purdy's played better than Jimmy G.
I don't know about you guys. I'm nervous about this Eagles defense. Like, man, I mean,
why?
They just really haven't. The past couple weeks, they just have not shown.
The more I watch this team, like, yeah, we're saying it's gift wrap for them in the NFC. This team's yet to lay a dud yet. When they lay the dud is when
they've also yet to play anyone really good. They did give up 40 to Dallas. You guys got points.
It just takes one game. I mean, the Niners, you run the ball, you control the clock, play action, you hit Kittle, they just have all the pieces. They got the defense. And again, of course, gun to my head, I'm picking the Eagles. I'm picking but I'm not saying the chalkiest too. I like the Chiefs and the AFC. The Bengals, yeah. I'm worried. Collins, I'm worried that they can't run the ball as much. I mean, at the end of the day, as much as I love Josh Allen, he's made me plenty. I love him in DFS. Mahomes, I got to take him over Allen at the end of the day. But man, that Niners team, they're just so good everywhere. Brock Purdy, you don't make mistakes. That's all it takes. Just like Jimmy G. That's why I look at him the same. And even with Jimmy G, I'd be saying the same thing, Spread, because it's just the pieces around you. Don't make mistakes. Move the football. Stay ahead of the chains. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Chiefs, Niners.
All right. What was yours, Tyler?
I'm just looking for one more odds real quick. I don't even know if here it is. The three that I picked out that I would bet right now. I think Dallas has a weird path to get there. Buffalo, Dallas, 12-1. I think Dallas has the defense. They shown last game. Dak could have a bad game. He threw a pick six. He was sacked 6 times. They still won the game. And that was against what's supposed to be the 1 seed. I know Hurts wasn't there, but you still won the game. Titles is 12-1, Kansas City versus the Niners. Here's a fun one, though. Just because I think Green Bay does have a path if they sneak in and they're going to be the hot team. Kansas City versus Green Bay is 110-1.
Who is?
Kansas City versus Green Bay.
Anything with Green Bay, he's got to be way up there.
If they can sneak in, those odds instantly drop to like 50.
Oh, yeah.
They win a game and win a game.
Can you cash out?
I'm not sure if you can cash out, but you could.
I would do that on a cash out book.
You could slowly start to play the hedge game. Like,
yeah, I just like cashing out better.
It's like you hammer the other side.
Yeah. All right, there you have it.
Tyler's making me excited about the Packers. I'm not sold yet.
I'm not excited about the Packers at all.
Our guy SC in the chat's got a good point. Whoever gets hot at the right time, since he was the hot team last year, they pushed it through. The other team, none of us have said anything about, and a lot of people love them at the beginning of the year. I don't think their offensive line can get them there, but the quarterback just plays lights out. They can get there. The Chargers in the AFC could make some noise.
Right, I think you got something with the lawnmower or something going on.
I'll mute.
It ain't us, Title. There's snow outside.
Yeah, there's no lawnmower going on right now. Maybe this
is why I need a soundproof room. All right, here, before I mute myself, the Indianapolis Colts are +4 tonight, total of 44.5. Start with you, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm all over the Chargers here. I know everyone's going to want to back Foles, and it's his first game. They think it's going to be a spot where they can keep it close. I just think there's no way to cover Mike Williams and Keenan Allen here. I think Mike Williams torches his team. Herbert seems to be putting it together late in the year. He's got all his weapons back now. Mike Williams, anytime touchdown, +175. I like that. I think they win the game. His touchdown and wins +280. I like that also. Herbert's props, looking at him, I mean, passing yards, 275.5. Passing touchdowns, 1.5. Pass attempts, 38.5. I mean, there's some tough numbers there, but the other one I was looking at is interceptions, even money. He does throw it a lot. He could put the ball in one bad spot and they get a pick, but I'm going to stick with the Mike Williams props here, and the Chargers win the game. So that's what I'll be on in this one.
First, let's start with the betting. The Colts are +4. The total is 44.5. Do you have any thoughts on the side or the total?
No, I'm not even going to pretend that I do. I'll talk DFS, though. I like going based on what Tyler said, well, how he thinks the game script's going to go and then make it. You like Mike, man, it just feels like an Eckler game to me. The PPR, I'm going to go Eckler at captain. Then I'm going to go Michael Pittman in the flex. I really do like Pittman, the PPR monster. I like him with Foles there. I like him with anyone. He is the guy. Then Jelani Woods is going to be the guy, the salary saver that allows you to get Eckler, Pittman, and then you have some other options. Yes, I'm hoping the coach is smart, that he runs him out there a lot more than Ali Cox and the other guys. But, man, is he really good, I think. He has big playability. He's a big threat in the red zone. The price is good for him at $2,800. He makes a lot work. The dude's just a complete monster. I'll bet on talents. Think he's going to be out there. We think they're trailing. They throw the ball more. I really do like Jelani Woods. So Eckler, Jelani Woods, and Pittman is the core I got.
Do you see this guy? He is salaried $200. Mike Strahan. He legit looks like he infiltrated the DFS rosters. He's got like the Colts hat on. He just looks like he does not belong on either roster. It's like, how'd you get here, buddy? Like, you cheated your way into here.
Mike Strahan, never. Yeah, don't play that guy if you guys are listening.
Another guy though. What do you think about the other tight end, Mo Alley Cox? 200. Yeah. He's gonna see time too.
I think he's even gonna be higher owned than Jelani Woods. Maybe it's pretty similar. I just think when people go to 200, they're gonna go to Mo Alley Cox. And then it's not necessarily leverage, but you get a little pivot at the tight end position. He's fine. Jelani Woods just looks way better to me. I'll bet on the talent. The price, $2,600 more. Again, Jelani Woods probably gets some ownership. Mo Alley Cox going to get some ownership, but I'm just banking on that tight end. But don't mind it one bit.
Tyler, are you not worried about a letdown here from the Chargers? We kind of saw this with the Lions. Now, I know the Chargers are much more talented, but a team gets on a roll, and we just love them. And then they go on the road, although they will be in a dome, so I guess it's a little different. Indianapolis, though, boy, they've been terrible. You're not worried about a letdown here for the Chargers?
Nah, not really. I mean, Jeff Saturday can't seem to coach a team outside of that one game against the Raiders. So
I mean, to be fair, you can't coach a team in week 8. This isn't basketball where you come in and just put in a couple new pick and rolls and change your rotation.
They don't even do that.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't see it. I just think the Colts come out and they just run Zach Moss a ton. They get in some field goal range. They kick some field goals. Unless Foles puts together a couple of nice drives with like dink and dunk passes to get them into the touchdown range, I don't think they really put many points on the board here.
All right. Tyler, doubting the greatness of Nick Foles. Title, anything more on this one before we sign off?
No, I think it's going to be a pretty fun game, though. I'm excied for it. We don't have to worry about weather, which is nice. I think we see some points.
I think you might be the only one. You're excited for Colts Chargers?
Compared to what we saw yesterday and certain showdowns that we've had, you expect points. The weather's not a concern. You got Mike Williams, Keenan, Eckler, Pittman. You have multiple guys that you could throw in the flat in the captain. Like I always say, like Lamar slates.
So you like it for the slate?
Correct. Yeah. I don't care about the game. The only if I didn't have money on it, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be watching all these games.
No, there's no way.
That's what I mean. So why would I care? I don't care as long as it's fun with my players. There's a lot of different options when you get the Chargers because of Eckler, Mike Williams, Herbert.
It's a fun build tonight.
It's a fun slate. Yeah.
It's not a fun game.
Well, but it's better than some of them it's better than the Browns and the Saints. It's better than the Buccaneers and the Cardinals, the Rams
and the Raiders and the Steelers.
The Raiders, the Steelers, the Rams and whoever they just got.
The Raiders,
Broncos.
at least had a little history behind it.
No. Mike Tomlin. That's because you peel the Mike Tomlin.
Even the Yinzers didn't like that game spread. The Christmas Eve party was dead with that game on.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't care about that game.
I can't believe you guys aren't giving respect to the great Franco Harris. Unbelievable.
You want to know how much the Yinzers cared about that game spread? They were handing out gifts at halftime.
Wow.
Nice. Kevin just booked 110-1 KC and Green Bay on FanDuel, 90-1 on DK. He's tailing Tyler.
Unbelievable. All right, Tyler, do you want to give him best bet before we sign off? What's your best bet first?
My best bet's going to be Mike Williams anytime touchdown plus 175. I think he gets in there. I think he finds him on a deep ball. And then I'm also going to take the touchdown and win it plus 280 because I think they win the game.
All right, Title, before we sign off, do you want to give the chat some New Year's Eve advice? How do you approach New Year's Eve as a young man with a vibrant social life?
I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to enjoy myself. I don't know. There's going to be college football playoffs on. It's always a good time. Uber home. Don't drive. Don't be dumb. Have a good time. That's how I do it. I drink a lot.
I just gave out the winners right there. Get drunk, enjoy yourself, don't drink and drive, and run pure.